All right, guys, so today we're going to finally be done with cells and we're going to start getting into adaptations in animals. So remember, the same is true for plants, that all living things change to fit their environment. And this change is called adaptation. So there are inherited characteristics, like why do tigers have stripes? Why are bullfrogs green? All these inherited characteristics come from our DNA, which we now know is stored in the nucleus. These inherited characteristics are passed on from our parents and the combination that they create. So all these questions deal with adaptations. So the actual definition of adaptation, and I need you to write this down where you can make sure you can read it later, is an inherited characteristic that helps an organism to survive long enough to reproduce more successfully in its changed environment, and it can either be a structural adaptation or a behavioral adaptation. Now remember, in the wild, the goal is to survive, to reproduce. You want to reproduce, you want to pass on your genetic material to your offspring. Once you are able to do that, it is considered to be a success. But you have to be able to survive long enough to do that. And as we know that our environment is always changing, animals have to either adapt, move, or die off. Those are their options. So here's a picture of some animal adaptations. Notice how the polar bears, their color is actually clear. A lot of people think that polar bears have white fur. It's actually clear, and it does is it reflects the color of their surroundings, which makes them white because they live in snow. This doesn't allow them to hide from predators because they are the predator. It allows them to sneak up on them. Some organisms can develop an adaptation of mimicry, like if a red touches yellow, deadly fellow. If red touches black, friendly jack. Some snakes can take on the same colorization of a poisonous snake to stop predators from attacking them. So we're going to talk about structural adaptation today. And we know that the definition of structural adaptation is the actual body part or the coloration that helps an organism to survive in its environment. So remember, structure is how it is made. So we're going to talk about some might be external structures and some might be internal structures. Examples of structural adaptations are camouflage, mimicry. Those would obviously be external. The bending of the hind legs, the sharp claws and teeth, and body structures, and those are internal adaptations. So let's talk about a couple external. Colorization, camouflage, mimicry. Why do tigers have stripes? So that they can blend into the tall grass. Why is the Arctic fox white in the winter? So that he can blend in to sneak up on his prey. The rattlesnake with the grayish brown tones because it lives in the desert, and the owl that blends in with the bark of the tree. This blending with the environment for protection from predators or to help them to sneak up on their prey. So here's some more pictures of camouflage structural adaptations. Notice how this leaf bug is made to look like a leaf. Did you even notice the flounder fish on the bottom of the seafloor? A praying mantis that looks very similar to an orchid. The cheetah with the same colorization in the tall grass, as well as a frog. So mimicry isn't kind of like camouflage, but it's where they're copying the behavior or an appearance of another organism. So for example, this butterfly or moth is actually mimicking the eyes of an owl. It turns itself upside down, so if a bird sees it, it's not going to come and eat the butterfly because he thinks it's an owl that could eat him. Where the monarch butterfly actually has another butterfly that mimics him to look like he is poisonous. And a caterpillar that has adapted itself to look like a snake. Again, stopping birds and things that eat it. They are used for protection or obtaining food and protection. So let's talk about bent hind legs. Prey run fast to escape from predators, and predators can run fast to catch prey. So the bent hind legs are used for protection and locomotion, which means to move. Another adaptation that a lot of animals deal with are their teeth. You can tell what an animal eats based on the shape of their teeth. If they have flat teeth, grinding, a lot of molars like the zebra, then they're mainly plant eaters. If they have sharp, cutting teeth, like their canines, then they're meat eaters. We have canines, but of course they're not as long as the orangutan and the lion. But we also have molars in the back, cluing that we are omnivores, meaning that we eat plants and meat. So, what also do their eyes have to do with it? Normally, predators have their eyes facing forward so that they can scan the whole area to see and keep their eye on their prey. Prey tend to have the eyes on the side of their head so that they have a larger peripheral vision and they can see more of the area to try to catch an animal that is sneaking up on them. So, another adaptation is depending on where we live and how we move. Do we have flippers for swimming? Do we have wings for flying? Bent back legs for running? Long, huge, strong, muscular legs for jumping? Have we adapted a foul odor or protection mechanism to protect ourselves? All of these are adaptations. And some more. So we have been looking at structural adaptations of animals and adaptations of the body. But animals can also have behavioral adaptations. This type of adaptation cannot be seen within the body, but it's a way that an animal reacts or behaves. In other words, it's instincts. So this is where we're going to stop. So make sure that if you need to go back and rewrite something, you pause it, that you truly understand what a structural adaptation is and can list me many examples, and we'll discuss it tomorrow in class. Bye.